Sponsored by JB Transmission. Specializing in foreign and domestic repairs, trust JB for all your performance needs. Check us out at www.jbtransmission.com or visit us at 256 St. Mary's Road in Winnipeg. This video production is sponsored by RD Sales and Service Limited. We service what others sell. For all mechanical repairs, trust our professionals. RD Sales and Service is a proud sponsor of the number 17 Super Truck and Sprint Car.
Distributors 44D is Luke Dykstra. Inside row number 2, a long-time racing veteran, sponsored by Simpsons Transfer. The 57 is Kevin Sexton. On the outside, the Coyote Ventures 29K out of St. Andrews is Ryan Karoluk. Inside row 3, out of LaSalle, Manitoba, driving for Speedway International Fuels. This is the Chrysler-powered X entry of Royce Rostecki. On the outside, the 66X is Denny Trimble, and rounding out the field, a guy that competes mostly in a late model, this is the 5G of Scott Greer. Looking him over, we are Modified Racing. Darian Boyce to the early lead, but keep your eyes on Luke Dykstra. He's got that Millennium chassis going, and he's got it going into the number 1 spot. Sexton to the bottom of the racetrack, a master down there, and he might have Boyce now. He does. Kevin Sexton again goes to the bottom of the racetrack, but Dykstra finding the traction up there that Ricky Weiss did a few races ago, and that Shane Edgington did just 1 race ago. Great action up front here in the modified division. Sexton making that 57 car stick, but not quite enough to get by the 44 as yet. Karoluk moves to 3rd. 4th, the 20X is Boyce. Darian Boyce working on the 29K of Ryan Karoluk. Kevin Sexton, the Simpsons Transfer 57, continues to work on the 44. He is trying to force Luke Dykstra to make a mistake. And Sexton, with likely more laps than anybody around this racetrack except for Mike Balkin, might be the guy to force that mistake. Great action for 1st and 2nd and a ways back. Excellent action for 3rd and 4th as well as Boyce rides on by. Sexton continues. Wow, great job by Kevin Sexton. He pulls right alongside the 44D of Dykstra. Dykstra out at the top of the racetrack. Sexton trying to grab any traction he can, but he can't get the traction that the Millennium 44D is getting. Checkered flags out the east side. LG Benner, 44D, takes the win over Kevin Sexton. 3rd is Boyce, 4th, Karoluk, and Scott Greer in the 5th spot. Well, a great race, Pat, no doubt about that. Kevin Sexton working on the 44D all race long, but at the end, on the final corner, as you told me, 44D came right down, protected the bottom. A good move by Lightning Luke Dykstra.
Absolutely correct. Both those top 2 cars are Millennium chassis built by Brian Strand in Bemidji, Minnesota. And they do get the job done. That car of Kevin's is one he won over 100 features with. Got 1 million laps in that car and looked real good tonight. We start Heat 2 in the modified division with the 10W on the pole, Emery Demolition. Emery Demolition B1 race cars. That is a Victory Circle modified. Ward Emery at the wheel to his outside. Guy's been racing modifieds, I would guess, if I had to guess, for 20 years. The Westbrook Manufacturing Winnipeg engine number 1R. It's Rick Delane. To his inside, another veteran, second generation modified driver. This is the Regent Construction Miller Race Engines number 7 of Danny Staff. And to his outside, it's the A1 Environmental Miller engine A1 of Ian Russo. Row 3 has Lee McRae inside in the Ford-powered number 9, and to his outside, Randy Bellick in the 51. Three abreast heading through 3 and 4. What a race for first place. Gotta love those slippery racetracks. Delane plants the right rear up on the lip and the high side of the racetrack, and he powers off turn 2. Ward Emery's Victory Circle modified. The Victory Circles are popular in the late model division here, but only one Victory Circle modified in the field tonight, and that's it, battling for the number 1 spot. These cars weigh 2,450 pounds. They have a 360 cubic inch limit, burn alcohol. They use a Ford 9-inch rear end and a Burt transmission, similar to what the Super Stocks late models, just about super trucks, all use a Burt transmission. Ward Emery's found a little traction in the bottom of turn 1 and 2, and that puts him about 5 car lengths ahead of second place Delane in the 1R. Your leader is driving a Victory Circle, and it's a Shaw car. J car, J car, J car, and I'm not sure on the 51. Oh, the 51 gets it moving, keeps it moving. 66 of Gary Philby, a late entrant, but still gets out and puts some laps on in our second of 2 modified heat events here. Randy Bellick in the 51, the Lee River Transport entry, gets back under power. Good race for third place. Danny Staff in the 7 and the A1 of Ian Russo do battle for the number 3 position. Remember, this is the outside row for the main event. Your leader playing around with lap traffic here, Bellick, the first guy to go down a lap, but he comes across the racetrack. Checkers fly for Ward Emery, barely. Stays out of harm's way with the lap 51 of Randy Bellick. Second goes to the veteran Rick Delane. Third to Danny Staff. Fourth to the A1 of Ian Russo. And rounding out the top 5, the number 9 of Lee McRae. Top 3 cars out of the heat races must weigh. These cars can weigh no less than 2,450 pounds. We move to a little heavier class now. The Super Stock division, again with a 360 cubic inch limit. This time, though, through a cast iron intake and a 2-barrel maximum 500 CFM carburetor. And they also use the Burt transmission, a Ford 9-inch rear end. And with the lineups and race action, here's Darren.
When you're talking about heavier, you weren't talking about me. I did have a couple of